In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I do waterproofing on residential homes as easy as possible. So this is my machine. This is probably the ideal size machine for doing waterproofing. Just enough reach and depth you can get to the footer with ease, but not too big where you can't squeeze it in to backyards and between fences and such. So on this particular job, you can see we left the AC unit on the house because the homeowner was doing the waterproofing himself. I was just providing the dig, and it wasn't going to be like a one-day job, so they decided to leave the AC hooked up so they can get it inspected and they could, take their time and do it right. This is probably the one of the most well done jobs I've ever been on in terms of waterproofing, with the quality of work done by the homeowner. So they are a good friend of mine, and that's why I was willing to work with them on this, and they did an excellent job with this project, and really focused on the details, so they will never ever have another problem with this waterproofing on this foundation ever again. As you can see right here, it would be a little bit nice to not have a thumb on the machine, but I pretty much use a thumb every single day on every other job I'm on, so I can't really give that up. I don't have a thumb on my work machine, which would have made this a lot easier. But working with what I got, digging under the AC unit here, they requested we leave it installed like I was saying. It was a little difficult, but ended up working out pretty good. It wasn't too much added labor. It just was a little bit more handwork for them. Not too bad. Other than that, we're working our way around to the front of this house. There's no other utilities on this side that we have to avoid. Once we get to the front, I'm going to be digging around the gas meter, the water line coming in, and we got some overhead electrical that we're going to have to be a little bit mindful of. So once this wall was completely excavated out and all the little hand digging was done on this as well, they power washed the wall to prepare for the inspection, make sure there's no cracks. They used hydraulic cement to fill in any cracks that were in question. They would grind it out, chisel it out, whatever. Make sure to give this foundation the best opportunity they can to staying sealed from the water element. They decided to hand brush the waterproofing on this entire wall. I definitely think it's a slower way to go, but they did ensure they got a very even thick layer all the way across the foundation wall. So, like I said, a lot of pride in this project. I have no doubt about its ability to shrug the water off the foundation. Also, we did a little bit of grading work here to help direct the water away from the foundation as well. I think that's very important to do. That'll give it its best shot at lasting a additional lifetime. So currently we're taking a little break for today because we need to start getting it inspected and cleaned up these walls before we go to the front. This is a little tricky to dig around, especially with the thumb.
I definitely recommend probably getting your AC disconnected, but it is doable without. Because back here we have shored up. I'm going to continue shoring all the way down. Hopefully get this side wrapped up so we can get some stone in here. We got the pipe ready to go.
So this is the non-fibered foundation coating that they decided to use. They also used a hydraulic cement for the foundation cracks. Here is what 30 tons of Wash 57 looks like. This project used about 100 tons for the entirety of the house. Here you can see the tar applied on the wall, a very healthy amount, and still they did not go through, I think, anything more than 3 buckets of tar for this entire project. We dug 95 linear feet. There was a section of the house we couldn't do under the garage, obviously, and in the crawl space area. But this is the issue that they decide they had the issue on in their house. So in this part, I'm doing the backfill right now, just bringing in the stone. It was a little bit tricky because the spoil pile was pretty close, so I wasn't able to get a full-size skid and dump that in here on the side. Dirt placement is very important. Obviously, if you're doing waterproofing, I would definitely recommend when you're backfilling, after it's inspected and everything's good, to leave about 2 feet at the top where you're going to be putting the spoils back in. This project was a little bit tricky to plan because I wasn't exactly sure if we were hauling all the dirt out or not until last minute. So we did have to do a little bit of dirt moving around, which slowed us down a little bit as well. If you can set it up where you can get the dirt hauled out, it'd be sweet if I was able to load a truck. But it unfortunately didn't pan out that way, I should say. No big deal. We worked around it and made accommodations. So that best fit the homeowner's needs, and he was happy at the end, so that's all that really matters. We ended up taking out 14 5500 dump truck loads at approximately 5 cubic yards per load out, 5 to 6 depending on how heavy it was loaded. Some of them were a little bit on the heavy side. I know it's overloaded for the truck, but um, a lot of the trips out were pretty close distance, luckily, so less than a couple miles down the road, which is perfect. Right here, I'm going to be looking for the water line, just being super careful. But continuing on with the dump truck loads, 14 of those is approximately 70 cubic yards of fill material moved out. And like I said, this was about 100 tons brought in. I had that delivered. There was no way I was going to be able to do that in a cost-effective manner. So it would have been nice to get the contracted trucking out, but it had to be done in the smaller truck loads, so the hourly would have killed them. This is a picture of the wall after it was pressure washed and the cracks were gouged out, and they're doing the repair there. This is the picture of the gas meter. As you can see, that little plastic line there, we were able to trace the steel line, but that did not account for the plastic portion that goes to the meter. So I did pull on it a little bit with the bucket, but we stopped right away and we were able to make sure that there were no leaks and continue on with the project. This is the last section here after it was hydraulically cemented in preparation for waterproofing tar. They ended up using a torpedo heater to keep the wall warm because it was dipping below 40 degrees that night, I believe. Overall, it was a very excellently executed project. Past inspection, you can see the label right there. This is what the stone was brought up to. I think that's a little high, but he's got some plans for a garden in the future right there, and it's the way he wanted it done. So it passed inspection. I'm happy. Feel free to ask me any questions, and please like and subscribe to help my channel out. I would greatly appreciate it to keep bringing you guys awesome content like this. Thanks again.